The drama surrounding the Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Tank Davis fight has turned the boxing world upside down, creating a storm of opinions, controversies, and questions about what the sport has become. What was once a discipline built on legacy and respect has now been dragged into the spotlight of entertainment and spectacle, and this fight seems to embody that clash perfectly. From Floyd Mayweather storming the stage at the press conference to fighters like Terence Crawford and Devin Haney weighing in with divided opinions, the entire buildup feels more like a movie than a match. But perhaps that's exactly what it's meant to be: a circus, a freak show, and a money-making spectacle that no one can look away from. When Floyd Mayweather reportedly stormed the press conference, the tension reached a new level. The scene was chaotic, with Jake Paul taunting and Tank Davis staying composed, his silence doing more damage than words ever could. Both camps traded insults, the crowd roared, and Mayweather's presence only amplified the chaos. It wasn't just about the fight anymore, it was about control, legacy, and power. Floyd, who mentored Davis and helped shape his career, seemed both protective and infuriated by the idea of his protege facing a YouTuber-turned-boxer. For him, this wasn't a test of skill, it was a threat to the sanctity of boxing. But for Jake Paul, this was yet another opportunity to shake the world, to prove that no matter how much the purists despised him, they couldn't ignore him. Commentators like Ariel Helwani tried to put things into perspective, pointing out a strange double standard. In MMA, fans celebrate freak show fights. They call them fun, unpredictable, and entertaining. But in boxing, those same audiences call them disgraceful. Why? Perhaps because boxing carries an old-school sense of pride, a code that resists change. MMA was built on chaos, but boxing was built on history. And yet, even the proudest boxing fans admit that they'll still tune in. Because love him or hate him, Jake Paul knows how to make people care. As opinions continued to flood in, the contrast became sharper. Terence Crawford and Devin Haney warned that the size difference between the two fighters could make this match dangerous. Jake Paul is bigger, stronger, and naturally heavier, while Tank Davis, though a knockout artist, has never faced a man of Jake's dimensions. Crawford went as far as to say that Jake could possibly knock Tank out with a single punch. That comment alone sent shockwaves across social media, igniting endless debates about power versus precision. Shakur Stevenson, another respected name in the sport, criticized the fight entirely, calling it a disgrace to boxing. But ironically, he was later seen sparring with Jake Paul, and fans were quick to call him out for hypocrisy. It's a strange reflection of how blurred the lines have become, where everyone wants to condemn the circus but still ends up buying a ticket to watch it. Even within the boxing community, opinions are deeply divided. Former world champion Keith Thurman tried to play the middle ground. He reminded fans that controversy is part of what makes Tank Davis who he is. Every time Tank steps into the ring, people show up, even the ones who claim to hate him. Thurman said that if fans were truly upset, they'd stop watching. But they won't. Because deep down, everyone wants to see what happens when a world champion steps into the ring with a man who wasn't supposed to belong there. It's the same reason people slow down to stare at a car crash. It's chaos, but it's captivating. For Tank Davis, though, this fight represents something more complicated. Throughout his career, he's fought to build a legacy, to step out from the shadow of Mayweather while following the same path of dominance. He's been one of the most feared fighters in his division, known for his power, speed, and surgical precision. That's why so many fans feel betrayed by his decision to take this fight. To them, facing Jake Paul isn't about competition. It's about cash. It's about spectacle. It's about the circus. But Tank doesn't seem to care. His focus, at least publicly, is on winning. He's called it karmic retribution, a way to restore balance after Jake Paul's rise through theatrics and controversy. In his eyes, this isn't just a payday, it's payback. Yet beneath the noise, there's a clear pattern. Jake Paul is doing exactly what Jake Paul always does. He's provoking, stirring, and thriving on attention. Every insult, every tweet, every outrageous claim is fuel for his fire. His entire career has been built on manipulating outrage into opportunity. He's the self-proclaimed villain of boxing, and the more people hate him, the bigger his empire grows. The fight with Gervonta Davis is his biggest gamble yet. Win, and he silences the critics forever. Lose, and he still walks away with millions and headlines. Floyd Mayweather himself admitted that while Jake Paul and his brother Logan know exactly what they're doing, Jake still hasn't been tested by a real fighter. And Tank Davis represents that test. Davis isn't a retired legend or a faded MMA star. He's a world-class boxer in his prime, with deadly precision and unmatched timing. That's why, for all the spectacle, this fight still carries real danger. For the first time in Jake's career, he'll be facing someone who doesn't care about his fame, only about his fists. As the days count down to the fight, the conversations around it grow louder. Critics call it a freak show, while others say it's genius marketing. Promoters love it because it blurs the line between sport and entertainment, bringing in millions of viewers who would never otherwise watch boxing. Purists hate it because it undermines the traditions of the sport. But at the end of the day, both sides will tune in. Because no matter how ridiculous it seems, this fight has achieved something that boxing hasn't done in a long time. It's made the entire world talk about it. Whether you see it as a joke or a revolution, the Gervonta Davis vs. Jake Paul showdown is proof that boxing is evolving, for better or worse. It's a fight between the past and the future, the purist and the provocateur, the legacy fighter and the entertainer. And when that bell rings, all the noise will fade, leaving only two men standing in the ring, each with something to prove. One fighting for validation, the other for pride. But both knowing that, in the end, this isn't just a fight, it's a spectacle, and the world will be watching. So what do you think? Is this fight the ultimate insult to boxing, or the kind of entertainment the sport needs to survive in a new era? Will Tank Davis defend the legacy of boxing, or will Jake Paul once again shock the world and silence the doubters? Let's hear your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed diving into this wild matchup, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next story shaking up the fight world.